Hey, good Friday morning, folks. MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa with the MLive Morning Weather Update, brought to you by Consumers Energy. Made it through the week. We've got a lot to talk about. I'll give you a good rundown of the weekend, and then we're looking at as a fight between hot and humid and a little bit cooler weather takes shape over the lower peninsula of Michigan. We're looking at possible, solid heavy rain event early next week, so we'll take a look at that. And hurricanes change Michigan's forecast quickly. I should say tropical systems. There's something forming in the southeast, and by early next week, it'll be kind of a developed storm system. And what happens then is it blows up kind of a fighting ridge around the outside of it, and it stops the intrusion of cooler air. So our forecast for a cool down for several days has changed a little bit. Let's get on into it and show you what's going on here. Heavy rain overnight in places, 3.5 to 4.5 inches of rain in isolated spots. I-696 had a intersection, or I guess I should say an exit and interchange closed down for flooding. And we still have to watch for some heavy rain this afternoon, but it's going to be fairly isolated, and it looks like it's going to be right along the Michigan-Ohio border and the Indiana border. So we still have this circulation around us right now, but at the moment, because of the instability waning, the most stable time of the day, we don't have a lot of activity going on as far as thunderstorm activity. Now, when we get to the afternoon and evening and the instability comes up, we will see a flare-up of thunderstorms, and that's the beauty of our modeling. Remember, weather isn't just a simple advection of what's going on, or a what's the word I'm looking for, interpolation along west to east of what's going on. Weather is dynamic. That means it changes through the day. You can't just say, oh, here's some rain and it's moving over here. Rain develops overhead too, and that's where the dynamic models come in to place. And what has been a big improvement over the last decade or a little more is what we call convection allowing models. Those are the models that know how to forecast thunderstorms, and so that's why I show you this high resolution rapid refresh, because it is one of the convection allowing models, and you'll see it. So we go to 1, 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon, 4, 5, 6. So what it's saying is that, and this makes sense with how we know weather patterns work, what it's saying is we get to 3 to 6 in the afternoon, heavy rain producing thunderstorms will pop up somewhere in southern and southeast lower Michigan. Now, I always say, don't look at this and say, oh, okay, I'm in Ann Arbor and that's 30 miles to the south, we'll be dry. It doesn't work. They're not that exact, especially in this kind of situation. So I would say anywhere from Port Huron to Ann Arbor, Detroit, to Jackson, down to Coldwater and along the border, you could have heavy downpours this afternoon and this evening. And this is 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I heard Sammy Hagar is at Pine Knob. One of my friends texted me and said, hey, what's the weather look like there? You should be drying out by evening, but remember, it's a tropical air mass. So prepare yourself for extreme downpour, although it looks better. Now, this is 9 o'clock, and what we know about weather is that as we, in this kind of instability-driven storm situation, as the sun sets, the showers and thunderstorms go away. And then as we go into tomorrow, this is all the way through tomorrow, it looks dry tomorrow. Looks like we're not going to have instability thunderstorms tomorrow. And now we end up at Sunday morning and thunderstorms trying to inch southward. But they're slow movers, and I think Sunday will mostly be dry too. Soupy Whitmore Lake, you got that right, Annie Gariepi. Jackie Soa, also steamy hot in Genesee, morning. And Paula Eckert, morning. When will the humidity end? Okay, so let's get into that. So this is Saturday. This is Sunday morning into afternoon. A weak cold front across the UP northern lower. Sunday afternoon into evening, still maybe a scattered thunderstorm or two in the northern third of lower Michigan. Sunday night into Monday, you can see the front inching south, and this is what I've been targeting and watching with you. This continues to show. So this is somewhere in the Monday night, Tuesday night time period. There's a solid rain probably coming across somewhere in lower Michigan, probably the center part of the state, and then shifting southward. Frank Milkey, so Lapeer may get rain? Probably not in Lapeer. Possible, but probable. Don Peterson, is Saginaw getting rain today? Probably not anything widespread. 10-15 minute downpour possible. So then when we go to next Wednesday, all of that moves to the southeast, and then cooler, drier air will be moving in. So when you ask me when does the humidity go down, I would say Wednesday. This is the U.S. model, and I just showed you the European model, and look, the U.S. model has the same idea. Several waves of heavy rain Monday into Tuesday, and then shifting southward. This is the total precipitation. Hey, good morning, Rena Coble from Howell. So this is the total precipitation off of the European in the ensemble mode. It covers those several waves of solid, I would call them 1 to 2 inch rains. You decide if that's heavy. And so it says everybody gets over an inch of rain in the next week. And remember, this ensemble takes away the heavier thunderstorm rain. So everybody gets an inch, and probably sum totals 2 to 3 inches. And that might be fairly widespread. So it's a heavy rain, actually. It's going to be a mud maker. Hey, good morning, Muskegon and Shannon DeVries. Hopefully I say that right. So here's the other thing that I think, I always want to emphasize this, and I do. If you've been with me I realized I looked back at some Facebook pictures, and Marley, my oldest granddaughter, I had her on my lap, and she was 3. So it looks like I've been doing these Facebook Lives for about 8 or 9 years. Of the 12 years, 10 or 12 years that I've been at MLive, one thing I want to emphasize, tropical systems in the southeast U.S. along the Atlantic coast develop very quickly. And then the chain of events happens that it changes our forecast. This is a case coming up. We're watching this disorganized storm system. It's going to bring a lot of rain to Florida, probably not be able to organize quick enough to become anything meaningful as a wind maker for Florida. But then it moves up into the southeast, into Georgia, the Carolinas, and it develops. And it throws up a roadblock for cold fronts coming south. So where I'm going with this is the cold front passage now doesn't look as cool. So where I was showing you, maybe 70 to 75 next Thursday, it's probably more like 75 to 80, and it also ends the cooler air quickly. So that's what you'll see on here. What you're looking at, I know it's a clustered mess, but that's the way it is. So what you're looking at, let's start off just with what we call the initialization. Adam Hunt, good morning. Heading to Tawas Monday. I'll be looking for a boating forecast. Okay? There is nothing, well, remember, Monday you got a burst of thunderstorms. Tuesday you got a burst of thunderstorms. Then you get a northeast wind. And of course, northeast wind at Tawas is a little bouncy. So you're in a stormy pattern there, at least for the first half of next week. So here we go. And you get the big picture. Here we go into Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday generally look pretty dry. And then it turns active Sunday night or Monday, and more likely right here Tuesday into early Wednesday. Note the tropical system forming in the southeastern U.S. and note how it's going to be kind of a bully on our storm systems, and it just hangs up the front. It makes it through us. We get a northeast wind. We do dry off, but it doesn't really plunge a cold front south so that it takes quite a while for the heat to recharge, and you see that in the surface temperatures. So today I would call it just feeling sticky. You won't be able to tell if it's 95 or 85, but it will be sticky. Tomorrow, same deal. Official temperatures 87 to 90 most places, high humidity. Sunday, same deal, about 90, high humidity. Monday, high humidity. Now Tuesday, if we get the rain through the day, the temperatures will reflect lower amounts, but the humidity will still be high. Then we go to Wednesday, upper 70s. We go to Thursday, 80-ish. We go to Friday, upper 70s to mid 80s. And then Saturday, we're back to the low to mid 80s, and Sunday, we're back to summery as well. So we will probably get about let's say, we'll get I would call it Wednesday, Thursday break in the humidity, and then we're right back into it. So it's a sticky one. Hey, remember in January when you put on Facebook, boy, what I wouldn't do for some hot, humid weather right now? Well, you got it. It was just about six months later. Hey, thanks for joining me on the MLive Morning Weather Update. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa. This update brought to you by Consumers Energy. I'll be continuing to watch this through the weekend for you, and it's what I do. 3, 4, 5 times a day, I check everything. So if anything is a big red flag on weather, I'll let you know about it. Right now, first red flag is Monday, Tuesday of next week. Some pretty heavy rain. It's going to turn into quite muddy around Michigan with that. So we'll keep you updated. Have a great weekend. I'm MLive Chief Meteorologist Mark Torregrossa.